Alright, this one should be an easy one, but we got a world's largest Pac-Man. It's not booting. Let's figure this out. First, let's actually turn the game on and check for any symptoms. Alright, this has been on for a solid minute or so, and we still got nothing. I have a theory, because I ran into this a couple days ago. Alright, in the back of the game here is a small desktop computer. If I reach around here, there's a power button, and if I press it, we get some life out of the entire thing. This, however, is not the normal BIOS screen or boot up screen that this game gives us. Come back to the computer and turn it off by holding the button for a second. Our screen turns off. If I turn it back on again, we get the correct boot sequence that I know. And a couple seconds later, the game starts actually loading. Now, a lot of these have a pre-programmed BIOS to them, and usually if the CMOS battery dies, it kind of screws with the entire boot up sequence. So I wonder if we have a dead CMOS battery in here. I'm going to take this out and see. So we're just going to unplug everything back here. We can just take this out. Alright, back in the tech office. We're going to open this up and look for a CMOS battery to replace. Alright, there's a couple of screws in here that hold this top cover plate on. We actually only need two of them. This one here and this one here. So we take that out. And this one out. And then this top cover just slides off. There we go. And in here, we have a CMOS battery. Alright, I had to take out another screw to pull this little power switch holder out of the way. There we go. And one small screwdriver later, we should have this out. Alright, we grabbed a multimeter to check the voltage on this. With our probes set up on each side of the battery, we should see 3 volts or so on the multimeter. I'm not even getting 1 volt. This thing's dead. And for comparison, we have a fresh battery reading its 3.3 volts. So we just pop this back in here. There we go. Snap this back in place. And put its retention screw back in. Now, even though the CMOS battery has been replaced, chances are I got to do a little bit of programming to get this thing to boot up correctly. Came back out to the game to get the power supply for the computer so I can hook it up in the office. We also need a spare monitor so I can see what I'm doing. Gonna need our spare keyboard here. And there we go. Our computer's hooked up to power. Our monitor is hooked up to computer and power. And we got our keyboard. Go ahead and turn that on. Just an idiot and hit the wrong power button. This post message with invalid date and time tells me, yep, the computer knew that that battery died and it reset its saved settings. So we just hit F2 on our keyboard. And now we're in our BIOS setup. Most of these load default settings, but we want to try and find one that's power on after recovery or something like that. And just make sure that that is always on. Hey, it is. So we save changes and exit. It's going to go through and actually attempt to load the game right here on the desk without everything else into it. Our proper test, though, requires us to simulate the game shutting down for the night. So we pull the power. Computer shuts off. And if I plug this back in, it should turn back on and start loading the game. We have fan spin. Show me boot. Maybe. There it is. And a couple seconds later, we should see loading graphics. There it is. Alright, we can clean all this up, close up the computer, and put it back in the game. Alright, back out here at the game. We got to get that computer in and that power supply back in. We just kind of like this. There we go. Plug the power supply back in. It's upside down. There we go. We got to plug everything back in here. So we have power and video. Alright, too many cables to plug in on camera, but they're all in there now. And if we turn our game back on, there's our boot sequence. And it's loading graphics. And game loaded up. I'm gonna put the back cover on it and close it up and check it in the morning, see if it boots up correctly, but it should be fixed.